Hi there. On the 6th of December, we have a grand water trine. Now, a trine or a grand water trine is when three planets connect with one another. And it's a water trine because in this particular instance, it's three water planets all connecting to each other to form like a triangle. And it's a very harmonious placement. But it's also a very, very subtle placement. So when we have three water signs trining one another, so that's Saturn and Pisces, Jupiter and Cancer, and Mercury and Scorpio are going to be the planets forming this grand trine. So wherever those energies sit in your chart. So wherever Cancer energy, Scorpio energy, or Pisces energy sits in your chart is where these planets are currently sitting, and they're forming a triangle with one another, assisting each other, harmonizing one another, balancing each other out. So the beautiful thing about grand water trines is they really stimulate our intuition, but they do it in a very subtle and deep way. So what we can find under the influence of this grand water trine, that it's much easier for you to feel into things. So this is a real wake up call for you to everybody to realize, we're all intuitive. We all have that part of us. It's not a magical thing that only some people possess. We all possess it. We just have forgotten how to use it. So you've got to remember that when you feel something, it's just as important or has as much meaning to you as when it's logically presented to you as well. When you get a feeling about something, that's your intuition, that's your gut instinct telling you, pay attention here, there's something here for you. So with this beautiful grand water trine, it's really going to allow us to really step into all sorts of intuitive energy. So Saturn and Pisces, as part of the trine, is very much asking us, what do you want? What is your highest ideal, your highest dream, your highest fantasy? What is that? And focus on it. And then Jupiter and Cancer expands on that by bringing it home, by making it real, and by giving you, the ability to feel into it, and through that feeling, creating a reality from it. And then Mercury and Scorpio asks you to add the passion and the intensity and the power to it, so that it can go from being a dream or a fantasy into something real. So this grand water trine is kind of working in the background. So it's working on how we feel, how we intuit things, and it's also affecting our creativity as well. So these are all things that could sort of feel like a lot easier for you, or a lot more easy to connect with than what they usually are under the influence of this grand water trine. So don't be afraid to share your dreams by speaking about them. Mercury's about communication. And when we speak about something, often that's the first opportunity we have to give it life. Up until then, it's an abstract thought. It's going around in your head. You might, just be fantasizing about it, thinking about it, but you're not actually making it real by giving it life, which is often when we either put it on paper and put it out there that way, or when we speak about it and share that information with another person. That's when the reality begins. So use this beautiful grand water trine. It's, like I said, it's a very subtle energy in the background, but you will feel more intuitive. And if you suddenly do realize that, oh, I knew that was going to happen, or I knew who was on the phone as soon as it rung, thank the universe for that. Because once you start thanking the universe for things that you're connecting with, when your intuition is working out for you, and is coming true and everything, which it always does, every time you give thanks for it, you're sort of telling spirit and your guides, okay, this works when we give her information like this, or when we show her something like that, or when this manifests in her life in some way, she's hearing it or he's hearing it. And so when you thank them, they go, okay, we're going to give you more of that because it absolutely works. You're connecting with us in that way. So the more we're aware of this beautiful grand water trine on the 6th of December, the more easy it's going to be for us to actually put more emphasis on what we feel to be true. And this is really, really important going forward, and out of 2025 and into 2026, because we've learned how to be authentic in 2025, so we can step into our sovereignty in 2026. And your part of your sovereignty is your intuition, is your ability to know that what you feel to be true is real. So enjoy this beautiful grand water trine, and I'll be back to talk to you again soon. Bye.